Hello, welcome to class. Today the concept is on the element of air, and air is everywhere, and it can be, when it's windy in a storm, it can be quite gushing or still, like how it is in this room right now. So prana is another way to describe air. It's this force that goes through us. It's the breath. It's the source of life. Oxygen, light, expansion, extension, all these qualities that we want to embody in our physical being during the class today. So we'll be doing a bit of back bends, and I've got a chair and a pillow to use at the very end. So I'll just put this off to the side. And we'll get started. So we'll get started in standing, actually. Why not? And we'll take a couple of breaths to feel this element of prana enter into the lungs. So you can close down your eyes, standing in a mountain pose with your feet hip distance apart. It's a bit weird, but I like to turn my hands out so I can open up through the chest, even though it's not a normal way to stand. And then just close down your eyes and let go all of the air that's currently in your body. So squeeze it all out. You can draw your navel into your spine. Feel it all empty. And then take a smooth breath in and feel the lungs expand from the inside. You can begin to lift your shoulders at the top of the breath, tuck your chin down and hold it for a moment and just feel that swirling energy inside of your body. And then exhale it smoothly all the way to the very bottom. And then take another breath in when you've completely emptied. Hold it at the top and feel the quality of lightness, of being, expansion, spaciousness, extension, and then release it all. One more breath like this. Feel yourself growing taller as you inhale. Keep the length in your entire body and just exhale and soften. You can open your eyes. Tuck your chin towards your chest. We'll interlace the hands behind and then try to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bend your knees a little bit. Reach your arms back. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, hands come towards your knees, round your spine a lot. So you're trying to bring your forehead and your pubic bone closer towards each other. Inhale, open. Feel how the breath carries you into your position. And exhale carries you, transitioning you to the other way. One more, it's like a standing kind of cat-cow. Just take my arms behind without interlacing. And then rounding a lot. Nice, hands towards the chair. Just bring one knee down, the other knee down, and we'll find that in a cat and cow. So hands onto the floor, shoulder distance, knees under the hips. Take an inhale to lower the belly, lift the sit bones, lift the gaze, and then lastly draw the shoulders back towards the hips so you have a lot of space in the chest. And then round. So the inhale creates this expansion in the body. And the exhale, you can explore some depth. And then come to a neutral position. We're going to lay all the way down onto our belly for some cobra poses. So point through the toes. Move my chair out of the way a little. Point through the toes, forehead down. Before we go anywhere, I want you to feel that your legs are firm. You're super pressing your tops of the feet down, forehead is down, shoulders are lifted, and elbows are drawing towards each other. And then as you inhale, it's like a baby cobra. So you're not even using your hands. You're just squeezing the shoulder blades together, straightening your legs as best as you can, and then lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now stay up. Bring your hands where they are, and this time push them down and forward and feel yourself rise up. Keep your hips grounded, and you can straighten your arms as much as you want to. Maybe walk your hands forwards if you prefer. Lastly, turn your gaze up. Try not to scrunch up into the neck. So create space in the neck, open through the chest. Feel the lungs opening as you breathe in. And then come all the way back down to your belly. Bending into your knees. Take your hands back behind you, like you're trying to grab your feet, but not really. And then come back up into this cobra shape, locust pose, with the knees bent. Just a tiny movement because there's a lot of strength in the back body. Lower the shoulders to the floor, lower the feet all the way down. And then inhale, let the breath carry you into this back bend. Bend your knees, look up slightly, and then exhale, lower. Relax. Take your arms out wide. Take your feet a little bit wider. And then same thing, locust pose, but like a starfish locust. Open, open, open. And then hands come back where they left off. Push all the way up and back into a child's pose. Feel those back muscles you just used. And then have your hands beside your feet, shoulders drawing down and forward, closing off. Slowly roll up. Take your fingertips behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades in, puff up your chest. You can stay here or lean back to lift your hips up. So you're in like a version of camel pose. Let your head drop back as far as you feel comfortable with, and then set your butt down and round back into this child's pose. Forehead comes down, shoulders drop. Inhale to roll up, hands back, squeeze the shoulders, lift the butt, draw your head up or your gaze up, and then sit down, rounding forward. Last one here. Squeeze, lift, lift, sit, and lower. And then we'll bring the arms forward, take our chair back towards the mat. You want it to be stable, so if your chair is sliding at all, you can bring it against the wall of some sort so it doesn't slide. We're going to come into like a downward dog with our hands on the chair. So feet under the hips. I'm actually going to take mine back just a tiny bit for the next position. Hands onto the chair and melt your chest down. You can bend your knees here as well, so you're emphasizing more opening through the shoulders rather than trying to straighten the legs and rounding the back. So think about down dog as like a back bending kind of down dog. On your inhale, let your inhale carry you into like a high plank on the chair. So you can come up onto your tippy toes, feel your quads engage by lifting your kneecaps, push your hands into the chair. And then lastly, I actually like to take the fingers on the outside of the seat. Let the hips draw towards the wrists and open up into this up dog. You can keep looking up You'll see why you don't want the chair to slide as much as you go back here. And then transition back into that down dog. So let your breath carry you forward. You've got this prana moving through your body. And as you flood the lungs in with that inhale, you're expanding, creating lightness of being in this back bend. And then all the way back. Last time, down dog to up dog with the chair. Beautiful. Bend your knees, walk forward a little bit, and just dangle into this forward fold. You can keep your hands onto the chair, or you can grab hold of elbows and fold. And then we'll bring the hands down, step one knee back, the other knee back, so you're back into that tabletop position. And a couple of circles with the left hand. So reach the left arm forward. Inhale to open it up. Exhale, circle it down and around. Two more, inhale. Like you're creating a big circle with your arm. Inhale. And then we're gonna thread the needle. So this left arm's gonna come under the right, landing down onto that shoulder. Head comes down onto the floor, and you can even look up towards the ceiling or keep your head down, push into the left shoulder a bit more. You might want to take your right foot by the left hand and take your right arm forward overhead, like you're going to do a funny side somersault here. And then rewind, hand comes back, knee goes back. Left arm sweeps up with the inhale. Open up through both shoulders. Hand to the floor and change it to the other side. Right arm forward, inhale. Painting 3 circles with your hand. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Threading it under. The left arm landing onto the right shoulder. So you can look up. First work on pushing more weight into the upper outer right shoulder, then step your left foot out. And you can take your left arm overhead. And then rewind it, hand back, knee back. Arm sweeps up, big breath in, and then hand down beside the other one. Let's come onto the tippy toes, step one foot forward, the other foot forward, so you're back into this fold here. So just like that down dog, take a halfway lift, try to, it's not going to move anywhere, but imagine you're sliding the chair towards you and stretching your chest towards the chair. You can bend into your knees, so you're creating a back bend here. So think about that as your halfway lift. It's like doing a cobra pose or a locust in a forward fold. So often when I see halfway lifts down here, I just see coming up and looking forward and keeping the round in the back. But I want you to melt here and shine the chest forward. Let's try it in forward fold. So face between the knees, look inwards. Take a halfway lift, so creating a back bend. Shoulders go back, shine your chest forward, forward fold. Now take airplane arms, halfway lift, arms go out wide. And then stand all the way up. Let the breath carry you up as you sweep the arms up. Look up. Hands go behind the head. Elbows squeeze inwards. Bend your knees. Stick your butt out. Open your rib cage up for this one. So you're getting a back bend, opening up the front of the body. And then as you exhale, whoops, closing off the front of the body. Rounding, place your rib cage onto your thighs, let your head drop, and then begin to straighten your legs. Let's roll up this time. And we'll do that in the chair. So have a seat on the chair. This will make it easier. Let's bend the knees. Sweep the arms up as you breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Place your body on your thighs and drop your face. Take a halfway lift. Arms come out like an airplane. Come all the way up. We'll step the feet on the floor underneath, hands behind the head, finding that back bend. A little bit more supportive with the chair, less work. And then open and release. It's nice to take a couple twists after some back bends. So one hand over the chair, one hand over the knee, turn and look behind you. And the other way. Sit up nice and tall, look over the shoulder. Turn back towards the center. We'll stand up. This mat's always coming off center. Standing up, we'll face the chair. We'll need it for later. And we'll take the hands to the hips with the left knee out. Create some big hip circles here. It's like you're stirring a pot of soup with your leg. And then lastly, we'll take the leg out. So we've got this support, kind of like a warrior 3, flying locust. Leg goes back out behind. Try not to roll the hip open just yet. Close, square off through the pelvis. You've got the chair here. Bend your right knee. If you don't want to use the chair, take your arms out to the side. And then let's step back. Crescent pose, arms come up, keep a bend into the front knee, look up, and then cactus into the arms. So feel the shoulder blades send the back of the heart forward. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, hands back towards the chair, back leg comes with you, and fold. Bend your knees to roll up. Take the right leg with you, stirring this big pot of soup. A few times. And then the right leg goes back. Try to square off through the pelvis. Hands can stay on there so you can feel where it is in space. And then when you're feeling like you might lose balance, you've got that chair. The key here is as you bend the leg for some support and then really hug the lower belly in to stretch you open through the front body. Arms can come out wide if you like. Step the back foot back, crescent. Arms reach up, breathe in. Keep the bend into the front knee and cactus shape your arms. So slingshotting the back of the heart forward, opening. Create space in the neck. And then inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, hands back to that chair. Lifting the leg. Bring it back. Come up. Cool. Hands to the hips. So instead of lifting the knee, we'll drop the knee. Take the hold of the back left foot. Coming in for dancer, bending into the right knee. So you've got this chair here. You can either take the back of the chair or the seat. Kick your leg back. I'm going to take the back of the chair. Kick your leg back. Try to square the pelvis to the chair rather than opening out to the side just yet. And then as you kick the leg back, feel that the left side chest, the rib cage is opening, like you're creating more space physically in the lungs here in this dancer pose. And then let go of the back leg. Place your hand onto the chair. Transition is tricky, half moon. So your right knee and your right toe is facing towards the chair. Push out through the left heel. Try to open the hips as best as you can. Arm can come up. Inhale here. And then exhale, back foot lands to the back of the mat. Lower the knee down. Whew. The front foot's talking. Step the foot forward and we'll find a half splits. So you got the chair and you can fold in here. Try to create space between the toes. Same thing as before. So rather than rounding, try to lift. Bring your chest forward, bring your shoulders back. Lifting the right sit bone up towards the ceiling, and you can always bend into the knee a little bit. Cool, we'll rebend. Take that all on the other side. Standing up, grab hold of the outer edge of the right foot, bend your left knee for some support, reach your left arm forward. So we're squaring the pelvis towards the chair, not opening up yet. You might need to play with the distance. Hand towards the chair, kick your foot back so you're pulling your shoulder with it. So less about, it's going to feel easier to open up into this half moon shape with the hips, but square. So the foot is going back and up. The left shoulder is going back. Right shoulder is going forward. And then you're tipping over into this leg, lifting up. Take an inhale here to expand everywhere as best as you can. And then as you exhale, your hand can come down. Release the back leg. Make sure your knee is pointing towards the chair, not coming with you as you roll the hip open. You can bring the hand to the hip. Take the top arm up. Reach out through both heels. Open up through the chest. Nice. And then step your foot back to the back of the mat. Lower the knee. We'll straighten the front leg. Find a fold here. You can scooch this chair in if you need to. So think less on fold and more on length and lift and just deepening the hip crease here. So almost think of your rib cage trying to come towards your thigh more than of trying to get your head to your knee. And after a couple of easy breaths, you should just be able to kind of sink in. So this inhale will find you length, the air, the openness, the expansion. And then as you breathe out, you find depth and explore into your body. Slowly come back up. We'll take a little puppy pose on this. So elbows onto the chair, hands towards prayer, sink your chest down. You can tuck your chin under and bring your thumbs to the back of your spine. Big opening up through your lats and triceps. And then push into the elbows, come up. Ooh. We've got our pillow that we'll use, so we're laying down onto the back. But before we go here, bring your feet in underneath the chair, depending on what your chair looks like. So feet between the legs. And we're going to come up into bridge pose and try to move the feet away from each other. They're not going to go anywhere. But also try to bring the knees towards each other. They're not going to touch either. So lift your chest, bring your shoulders underneath you as best as you can, and then lift your butt for bridge pose. Try to separate the feet and bring the knees together at the same time. You should feel a lot of sensation in the legs. And then lower down. Try that a couple more times. So you're pushing your feet into the chair, You're trying to bring your knees together. Lower. Relax. One more. Lift. Push, pull, squeeze. And then lower. So this next one is a bit like shoulder stand and bridge pose combined. So we're basically doing bridge, but with feet onto the chair and coming up here. And the reason I brought a pillow is so it's more comfortable for the upper back. So what we want on the pillow, shoulders line up with the edge and the head's on the floor. So come and lay down onto the pillow, head onto the floor, shoulders are in line with the edge, feet onto the chair, and then just like bridge pose, you'll push up. So this pillow underneath is a little bit more supportive. I like to try to walk the shoulder blades underneath me. You can bring your hands towards your low back. And coming up, so you can come up and down into that bridge pose. You can stay up into the shoulder stand. Hands can support your low back. And if you want, you can take one foot up, maybe overhead. And try it on the other side. So you don't want to put any tension on your neck here. You really want to have a tiny little curvature, so you're not completely scrunching your shoulder, your chin in towards your chest. You've got a tiny little space behind the neck, which is what the pillow is for, really. And this should not give you a headache at all. And if it is, you're just going a little bit too far, you can back out. And all the blood will start to rush towards your face. You should feel that if it's too intense for you, if you're not used to that, just come out of it. If you love it, stay for a bit longer. And we'll finish up our practice with just our feet on the chair. That pose is so awesome, doing shoulder stand, even coming up and over into like a plow pose. I love to spend a couple minutes here, but for time's sake, we'll wrap it up. And if you want to continue playing with that, it's just so good for the neck and shoulders, then go and play in your own time. Otherwise, we will finish here. I'm going to take my arms out wide, opening up through the chest. Slow breaths in and out through the nose. And just feel the prana move in and around through your body. Feel how just it's like a half an hour of practicing yoga has shifted the energy around. And the opening in your chest makes you feel a bit more exhilarated, a bit more lighthearted. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to the side. Come on up. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I will see you in the next class.